got a bad knee. It's a speed dating accident. Yeah, I wasn't fast enough. The guy next to me died. He never made it out of the chair. They have speed dating for old people. You know that, don't you? Yeah. They call it speed dating to make us feel better. It takes about an hour and a half per person. Somebody's always nodding off. I went through the TSA today, and they have to do all the, the thing. I'm in a wheelchair. I like the wheelchairs, too. Those are fun. I don't need one. I just like them. So, no, push me. I've earned it. And so I get in there, and then they said, "Oh, we're gonna patch it down." I go, "Okay." He goes, "A lady will patch." No. You got me. Anyway, she was mean. Anyway, I'm gonna sit down here because I can. I bring my little stool everywhere I go. It just adds to my sexual ambiance that I got going on there. It is really nice, and I know that working in front of crowds. I'm working in front of crowds again. I haven't been working clubs for a really long time because I aged out of them. Well, no, they can't carry enough insurance, so they just they're afraid I'm gonna die on stage. They have no idea how many times I've died on stage. But my new comedy clubs have been for the last 5 or 6, 8, 10 years is independent living with a side of assist. And you guys, I am no diva. I've never had a writer in my contract in my whole life, but for the last 6 years, I've had to put something in there that says the first 3 rows must be cognitive. I just love messing with it. I always show up early because I'm that age. I show up early. I sit, and then some of these places are really nice, and you go out, and they have these big living rooms and stuff in the, and I like to get there early, and I sit out there. Because I know that eventually somebody from behind the desk is going to wonder what the hell I'm doing there, because she doesn't. And they always come over and go, "Hello, dear. How are you?" "I'm wet." I have friends in the audience that I've known for many, many years, and they know that I know hoe, but I've been getting hit on, and my girlfriends have to tell me, my younger girlfriend, that guy is checking you out. That guy over, don't look, okay, that guy over there. She goes, that guy has cataracts. He's just trying to focus. And my niece, you're not in a relationship. I know I'm not in a relationship. I haven't been in a relationship for a long time, according to the restraining order. Couple late night calls, couple drive-bys, suddenly I'm the bad guy. There's a really fine line between stalking and caring. But I realize that I do get hit on. Well, I work a lot of casinos, and those boys love me. Come here. I swear to God, I'm not lying. I'm working at Chinook Winds, which is on the Oregon coast, this casino. I'm down there, and this guy comes up to me, and I love men because at this age, they don't know they're old. They just think they're in there. You know, they have the confidence. It's just amazing. This guy comes over. He's got his walker. He's got both his hearing aids in. He's wearing some kind of bag. I'm not paying attention. And then he's wearing most of his lunch down the front of him. And he comes over and he puts his arm around me. He goes, "I'm gonna take you to dinner." I go, "Okay. Where should we go?" "Well, can you drive at night?" "I'm your girl." It's crazy. I'm glad I'm down here, though. I'm glad I had to do this today because I'm getting out of something. I got out of a family vacation. Yeah. I don't have kids that I know of. I should probably tell you that. The 80s are a little hazy. And, I have nieces and nephews that are my heart. I love them very much. They're very sweet people. But let me tell you something. I'm the auntie that everybody remembers did the stupid things on the vacation. You know, that ended up in the hospital or ended up at the ER. You know, this guy, or I hurt one of the kids somehow without, you know. I'm always, and when, no matter how much you get together your family, if you're that person, that's all they want to talk about. They all, "Remember that time?" You know, "Yeah, I remember it. I wish you would just not." And so we went to Bend about 20 years ago, and that's where my family is this weekend. They're over in Bend, Oregon. And about 25 years ago, we went over there. The kids were little, and I wanted to be the fun aunt. So they said, "We're going to go horseback riding." Okay. Okay, yay. And so I was a good aunt. Everybody got on their horses, and then they brought mine out, and I'm not lying. This should have been pulling a plow and a truck. It was the biggest horse I've ever seen in my life. The Clydesdales look small compared to this horse. And I'm standing there, this is my horse. Okay, this is my horse. And then the genius, the stirrup's up here. The stirrup is right here. And the guy goes, "Just put your foot up there. And you just bounce a couple times, and you throw your leg over." I get my leg up there, I wouldn't be riding a horse. I'd be a trucker's wife. So I turned to this mental genius, and I said, "I'm gonna need some help." I am not lying. 6 guys. It took 6 guys. We had 3 on one side pulling and 3 more on the other side pushing and shoving, and that hasn't happened since high school. And high school, did you get it? Anyway, so I had to get on the float. Anyway, so now they got me on this thing. And when I say this is a big horse, this horse has also been eating for about 9 years without moving. It was as wide as it was tall. And I'm not. Sure, I got a 3-inch inseam. And so I got on this damn horse, and I go, "What do I do with my legs?" He goes, "Just wrap." I can't bend my knees. I look like Barbie Mountain Kid in 1958. Unbelievable. And then one of my nieces thought it'd be funny, so she slapped the back of the horse, and we started to trot. And I went right off the back. I caught an earring in the tail, and I got dropped for like 350 feet, like my tits can rototill. Just, no, I don't want to go on the family vacation. Thank you very much. I love them, though. They keep me young. They try to keep me young. During COVID, They drove me crazy. They were afraid I was gonna be lonely, you guys. I've lived alone forever. I go, don't bother me, I got shit to do. This is the same day, did some different stuff. It's not a problem for me. And they kept calling me up going, are you lonely? No, I'm not lonely, leave me alone, you know. All of a sudden I started getting emails from YouTube that I'm taking a macrame class. Do you know what macrame is? You tie shit together and hang your dignity from it. I'm telling you. If you have a grandparent that's, they've given up. Do you understand? They've just given up. It's what we used to do with shag carpeting when we were stoned in the 70s. Just tying knots in that. That's good right there. I like that one. That's good. Honest to God, here's the worst one. They signed me up for Silver Singles. Do y'all know what Silver Singles is? A dating app for old people? Now, they did it during COVID because they knew I wouldn't ever go on a date. So I wouldn't have to see the people. So they thought, I said, first of all, I was so mad. I started getting emails from desperate old gentlemen. And I was reading them, and I felt bad because I didn't know if the guy liked me or he just had a trimmer and swiped right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that deserves so much more than you gave me on that one. I'm just going to tell you that one. So, yeah, now it's a pretty clap. That's okay. Anyway, so now and I call my oldest niece. I have 4 nieces, and at this time she was 48. I had 2 46s and a 32. Sounds like a bra drawer, doesn't it? Anyway, so I called my oldest niece and I go, what the hell did you do? She goes, oh, are you getting emails? I go, yeah, what did you think? I said, what picture did you use? She says, Suze, honestly, don't be mad. Don't you want to get married? No, nobody gets married for the first time at 70, no. Not unless there's a verified pension and a diagnosis. You don't get married. You just don't do it. And then I said, honey, you get married when you're young, and you have your whole life ahead of you, and you have all these dreams and aspirations, and you have somebody to share all that with, and then you grow old together, and you blame them for the shit you didn't get to do, and that's growing old. That's marriage. I said, at 70, I am not bringing much to the table. Maybe the smell of CBD oil and Altoids. That's pretty much it. They try so hard, though. They do try hard. My birthday last year, they got me a gift card for a tattoo. I'm coming to you. Now, you have beautiful tattoos on your arms and your wherever I can see. And that's your generation. And I understand that. Did you design those?
I came up with the design.
You came up with a design, you found something that could match your concept. Yeah. This gift card's for $100.
Like 60.
So they're cheap bitches on top of that. They're driving me crazy. I haven't had it. They want me to give it back to them. I'm going to give it to the guy living down at the end of my block. Honest to God, I'm not going to give back to him. What are you going to have done? What are you going to have done? Well, I don't know what I'm going to have done. Maybe I'll have my upper lip put back on my fucking face. Because I don't know where the hell that went, but it's gone. It came off with the mask. And then I became an Amish man. I've never had so much facial hair in my whole life. That is not easy to pluck either. You can pluck it all you want, but honest to God, it hurts, doesn't it? Hurts like a senator. You get older, it just doesn't, and it's long. It made me question my pronouns. I'm in the bathroom tugging on that. The pliers are not cutting it. I have needle nose pliers. I stopped tugging. Because I realized every time I tugged really hard, my left breast would go up 2.5 inches. So I just started tying them off. So anyway, they want me to have, I don't want symbols. This skin's not coming back, honey. I've lost a lot of weight, and there's not a spank in the world that's gonna hold this shit up. Do you understand? So I'm just, and I don't want pictures, and I don't, I told my niece, just to make her crazy, my youngest, I'd get help me with this, tramp stamp. That's it. See, that's the perfect place for an older person to put their tattoos. Back here. You put your social security numbers back there. You put your blood type. In case of emergency phone number. You can put your allergies down your butt cheeks. Because there's a good chance when I wander away from the home, I'm gonna be naked. My sweet Irish niece calls me up. She goes, I know what you should have done. You have to have the Irish prayer tattooed on your body. I said, no words. There's no words going on this body. Are you kidding me? Someday somebody's gonna be putting me on a bedpan, and I don't want that conversation to start with, hey, what's your tattoo say? It says faster. Honest to God. I get away with a lot of stuff. I do, and I'm looking at my friends up here with the silver hair. You have beautiful hair. Did you guys you went gray fairly early in your life or no? See, I started going gray when I was 18. Oh yeah, seriously, gray. My mom and dad were both salt and pepper by the time they were 25, and they're almost white by the time they're 30. So it was hereditary. And back in the 60s, gas was 23 cents, but you dye your hair at the hairdresser, it was 25. That was a lot of money. And then it was $35, then it was $45, then it was $55, then you're doing blowjobs for rich jobs. And I got bad knees, so it wasn't paying off. So, and finally, when I first doing stand-up, everybody goes, you gotta dye your hair, you're in the show business. I don't care, I get away with so much more. We get away with shit. We do. I have guys running across the parking lot to open the door for me. And if they're not running and going, hey! It's amazing what, and I forget I'm gray. Okay, this happened at the grocery store. I hate the grocery store, by the way. I used to love it. I don't like it anymore. What we got through, the one thing you don't see at the grocery store anymore since COVID is you don't see that little cart that looks like a little car. That you put the little ADD people in. And then you just drag them by shit they can't have. Until they work themselves into such a frenzy. Prior to COVID, if I was in the aisle with those kids and they're having a meltdown, I was the next target. Always. Oh. You're a fatty. You're fatty. You're a fatty. You're fatty. Whoa, slow your roll, tiger. Come on now, that's not nice. Don't say that. No. There's no Santa. Yeah, now we're both living with disappointment, aren't we? when they had all those kids, those little 14-year-old kids that they would hire, you know, to go get the carts that I put behind your SUVs. They overhire them at my store every year, and then they said, "Oh, look busy. You got to look busy." So they would wait for older people to start walking into the store, so they could just ambush us. You know, you going into the store and they're, "Hi, how are you? Find everything?" Oh my God, I'm fine. Leave me alone. I've done this before. And you get to the end of the aisle, and there they are again. "Hi, are you finding everything?" Well, we just had this I just talked. You need shit to do, don't you? Okay, well, I need an early pregnancy test, and I need it now. I'm throwing a plan B. I don't miss that. Honest to God, though, I was in the grocery store the other day. I'm gonna tell you this story first because I wasn't making fun of your beautiful tattoo. No, because here I want you guys to know something. I was a kid in the 50s. I was a teenager in the 60s. I saw the Beatles. Okay, so I'm telling you, when I made a pact with myself that I was never gonna be that older woman that just downgraded a whole population of young people for something that they wanted to do to themselves or whatever kind of trends they were in. I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be. I try not to be. But in the last 8 years, I'm fascinated by something, and I don't know if anybody else is either. I am fascinated by hockey pucks embedded in the earlobes. You guys, I'm just fascinated. I get up on them. Oh, look at that. It's embarrassing. And if they're in the line in the grocery store with me and they don't have those things are, I just want to put my fingers in there. I just want to put my fingers in there. Do those whistle in the wind? You know, I just want to know. And I don't understand. What do they call that, honey? Gauges. That's it, gauges. I never remember the gauges. Well, I'm gauging they don't have any grandparents, because the people in the, you know, your ears and your nose don't stop growing. No. By the time those holes are 65 years old, they're so big, it's just another way for the grandkids to get in the truck. You put your foot right there, baby. I got you. Come on. God. It's just, it makes you crazy. I was in the grocery store the other day. I'm going to tell you this because I got all the way through COVID without having any kind of confrontation. I was really proud of myself. I didn't have to argue with anybody about masks. I didn't have to argue about my vaccinations. I picked up my groceries. I didn't get out of the car, all the things you're supposed to do. I am in the grocery store in my neighborhood 2 months ago, and I'm standing in line at the checkout clerk because I have coupons. And I do. It's my turn. It's my turn to drive you guys crazy, you young ones. The bitch has coupons. Jesus. Yeah, that's me. I got Piggly Wiggly coupons from 1957 that were in my mouth. And I make them running. No. It doesn't have the barcode. You have to do the numbers. So anyway, I'm in line with my coupons, and I know there's a gal in front of me screaming bloody murder at the clerk. You don't scream at the clerks at the grocery store. It's just such bad form. They don't have any power. They just want to get you through the line without stabbing you in the eye with something sharp. They've been standing on that weak-ass ocean mat for 15 years, and their shins are shot. They're just, and she's screaming at this young girl who I happen to know is a single mom, the sweetest person. She tries to help everybody, and she's screaming that something on the shelf is missing that she wants to eat. Well, ding, ding, ding. Have you been around for the last 3 years? Shit's missing. You gotta be an adult and pivot. Go to the pickle aisle. There's always pickles. I am trying to stay out of it. I am being, I'm going, no. There's a guy in back of me, and he just keeps backing up. You know, because he's not going to get involved. And then she really hits another gear, and she calls this young woman a word. I won't say the word. Every woman in this room knows exactly what she got called. And it was, that's when my Irish went from 0 to 100,000 miles an hour in about a second and a half. And my mouth wrote a check my body could not cash. And I believe fucking bitch came right out of my mouth, really loud, and all I could think of was, oh shit, I can't run. And now this guy is really backing up. He is not having any of this. So she turns on, big, tall, white, entitled woman. There's a shuck. Anyway, she gets right in my face. And she goes, what do you want? I said, wait, you shouldn't. She was really a nice, that was not very, you shouldn't have said that's a bad way. You should, I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. The guy in back of me starts laughing so hard he starts singing with me. You guys, I didn't think she had another gear. She had another gear. She slammed her stuff down on the counter. She pointed at the clerk. She pointed at me. And then she stormed out of the store. And I stood there going, oh my God, I'm 72 years old and I out-crazied her. I didn't have to wet myself to do it either. I get in trouble. I make a lot of mistakes at the grocery store. And I'm just going to bring it all to you guys right now. Every single person in this room, as lovely as you are, has a person in your life that you avoid. And it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you've grown apart, you're culling the herd, whatever it is. You're just not in sync with this person anymore. And invariably when you see them, they're always so happy to see you. They're, hi, how are you? And you're going, hi, don't come over. And it's okay. It's okay. It's being human. But sometimes the people that you try to avoid are in your everyday life. One of mine is at the grocery store. He's a clerk. I've known him for 15 years. He's a very sweet man. I avoid him like the plague. No, because he's a very low talker. Very, very low talker. He wears a mask for his protection, and I appreciate that. I just don't want to get in his line because he's always happy to see me. He has a beautiful East Indian accent, and without the mask, on a good day, I still don't know what the hell he said. I don't know what he said, and I think it's my hearing, and I spend my whole time going, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry, excuse me. And so but he took over the checker line the other day, and I thinking, okay, just be nice, Susan. He's always so, hi, it's good to see you. Yeah, yes. Oh, wait on that, though, wait on that. I thought I got a discount. And I swear I'm not making this up. This is what I thought I heard him say. Oh, are you retarded? Excuse me? Are you retarded? Well, there's never been testing. You guys, I drove all the way home. I sat in my car for a half an hour trying to figure out what the hell this guy said to me. He asked me if I was retired. Are you guys friends? Do you do a lot of stuff together? You know, you've been friends a long, long time. See, I love that. I think men have friends. You have friends that you've known for 50 years. You go fishing and do stuff with them. See, I have had girlfriends that I have known since grade school. And 2 weekends ago, we've been going to the coast, the Oregon coast, twice a year for 50 years together. And we have the best time. And, you know, and we used to talk about fun stuff when we were younger. You talk about men and dating and, you know, concerts you were going to and clothes and stuff like that. And then you got married and you talked about, you know, the husband, and then it was the kids, and then it was the schools, and it was all, you know, this, and there was this progression of conversation that we've had over the years. And then it was empty nest, and, you know, then it was travel. And now when we go to the beach, I gotta give these bitches 15 minutes to tell me about their procedures, and they go, oh, I gotta do it one time. Because that's all the time I got for this shit. You got 15 minutes to tell me about your procedures. And I wasn't having it this time, so I sent one of my friends and the kids in the neighborhood down to the pot store, and he brought back gummies. Yeah. Oh my God. The pot has changed so much. Oh shit. So they were drinking wine. I wasn't drinking, but they were drinking wine. We were playing cards, and and they start talking about the procedure. No, everybody take a gummy now. Time to take a gummy. So everybody took a gummy. And we're playing cards and we're laughing, and then we forgot if we took one. So we took another one. And then we went clam digging. And it's not even a clam type, but we're out there laughing at the sand. And old ladies laugh till they pee, so that was embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know. I make it sound like I did a lot of drugs. I didn't do a lot of drugs in the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s. No, I didn't. I had already done drugs in the 50s. I did. You know, when you were a fat little kid in the 50s, they didn't have programs for you. They just gave you speed. I'm in 3rd grade taking 3 crosstops a day. I'm a busy little brownie. Let's get to fractions. I need to know how much an ounce is. So anyway, what was I going to tell you? Sometimes my mind has gone so long, I come back with a tan. I just blanked out. But, you know, it's okay. We were not going to start over. I don't have the energy, and my meds are not working. So, this was not the day to switch your meds up with your cats. You have a cat? You don't have a cat? I have a cat. I didn't mean to have a cat. This is what you don't do. You don't go to the Humane Society with a friend who says, I'm going to get a cat when I come. Say no. Because that bitch walked out without an animal, and I walked out with a cat. Now, I love the cat. Have you ever adopted a cat? Animals? Yeah. Was it a baby animal?
She was a baby.
Yeah, did you get to name her?
Not really.
You kept the name?
Yeah.
See, I thought I was adopting a baby because she was little. She wasn't kitten little, but she was little. You know, she was only like this long. And I thought she was young. The bitch is 9. And there's a reason they released her to the Humane Society, because evidently she's got every disease possible. Which is why I'm still working at 72. Anyway. Now, I love her, but I hate her name. But she's 9. I can't change her name. They named her Cake. Cake the cat. Very Dr. Seussish. But you have to understand, I have an image. I can't be that fat old lady on the porch at 12 o'clock at night yelling, Cake! to think about them. I love to think about my folks. How many people here have been a caregiver in their life? A lot of people have been caregivers. Yeah, it's a tough thing. It's a very tough thing to do. I took care of my mom and dad for many years. I wasn't good at it. They died, but... I tried. And you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. Certain things you'll say will remind you that you know the nut doesn't fall far from the tree. And I don't know how men do it. I think men process becoming their father in different ways. It happens around 40 for women, I think. It's that one morning you walk in the bathroom and you look in the mirror and you go, oh shit, when did she come in here? And you just have to learn to live with it and embrace it. You know, and I have my mom and dad, when I say they died, they did, but they were very old. My dad was shy of 99, and my mom was just turned 97. They died 2 months apart, and they were married when Jesus was in junior high. They were married forever, and they were cute. They held hands everywhere they went. I know, and people would do that. They'd audibly go, oh. And I would laugh because I knew the truth. One's going down, they're taking the other one with them. Nobody's getting out alive. And they were hysterical. I mean, I'm going to say this because every caregiver has, one parent is always easier than the other one. Am I right? Yeah, that's really true. My dad was a piece of cake. Whatever you want, baby girl. That's all right. I'll do whatever you want. Okay, Daddy. Your mother's my mom. I was like, well, first let me tell you this. My mom and dad never developed dementia or Alzheimer's. They had their mind right to the end. They were there every fucking day. They were there. They just woke up happy. They woke up. What are we doing today? I'm the cruise director. We're going to Costco. They're having a 2-for on coffins. Let's measure. They were hysterical. But my mother invariably, it was difficult because, especially when I had to change her meds up. She said, Ma, you got to take this new pill. No. Ma, no, you're trying to kill me. If I was going to kill you, I wouldn't use stool softener, okay? How does that benefit me? But I have become my mother in so many ways, and I embrace it now because one of the things my mother loved to do was she loved going to the doctor. She loved going to the doctor. And when I say go to the doctor, this was the greatest generation. That woman didn't leave the house unless her handbag and her shoes matched. Her outfit was completely done and her hair was coiffed. That was my mother. Her lipstick was perfect. So when I took her, she was about 95 years old. We took her to the cardiologist. And she looked darling. She just walked in. I'm here. Everybody knows. And then she doesn't even stop by the nurse's station. She just walks her bony little butt down the hall and goes to her room. And there's people on respirators giving me the stink eye. I'm going, okay, I'm going to get her. And I remember walking down that hall having that conversation. My daughter, my caregiver, my daughter got to the room. I'm a daughter. I go, Ma, come on now. You can't just walk in, honey. We have to wait. 95, does it look like I have time to wait? No, ma'am. How'd you get on the table? Anyway. She's sitting there. She starts to unbutton her little pantsuit. I go, no, just a consultation. I am showing these to somebody. I hit 65. I've been a comic for almost 42 years. Oh. Yeah, you think I'd be better. But anyway, I'm a slow learner. But anyway, I went without health insurance, as many comics did in the beginning, for many, many years. And so when I had 65, oh my God, I was at the doctor's every damn day. Just, you need to probe me. So I got probed, and then COVID hit, and I couldn't go to the doctor. And I had the tele ones where you have to do it online, the online. I hated those. Did you like those? No. I was so nervous, you guys. I took a shower, put makeup on. I'm at my house. I kept checking the machine. That's old people with a computer. I kept checking the machine because I knew I was going to screw it up. 30 seconds before this whole thing started, I didn't feel like I was going to the doctor, so I took my pants and my panties off, and I folded them on a chair, and I put the paper towels down. And now I'm at the doctor. And she comes on, and she's no business. She goes, "You are so behind on so many procedures. You need a pap smear." We're not doing that today, are we? Because I'm on a desktop.